coverage on a story we have been committed to getting answers for. A convicted rapist who just days after being released from jail allegedly went back and attacked the same victim.
Now, the details of the case are disturbing, we know that, but so is the delayed responses that we have received from elected leaders and the courts on how this case was actually handled. So just to get you up to speed, Francisco Carranza-Ramirez served 9 months for raping a wheelchair-dependent woman in front of her 2-year-old child. He was released with no supervision in exchange for returning to his native country of Mexico. And tonight, that is where officials believe he is, in Mexico. But not before detectives say he attacked the victim again, landing her in protective custody. Hannah Kim is here with our continued efforts to get answers on this. And this has been a pretty frustrating situation.
Yeah, Jamie and Brian. So the question that we have is very straightforward. Did sanctuary laws prevent this judge from asking about immigration status? Now, I want to be very clear on this. We are not arguing for or against sanctuary laws here. The issue is whether or not there is a loophole in that policy that prevents the courts from asking relevant questions of convicted criminals in some cases. Because in Ramirez's case, Judge Nicole Gaines Phelps is heard in court saying she is legally prohibited from asking his immigration status. This after the convicted rapist Francisco Carranza-Ramirez himself requested he go back to his native country of Mexico. The judge could have given him community custody, which is what prosecutors asked for. Instead, she allowed him to go to Mexico without supervision, asking that he provide proof when he got there. But as we mentioned, detectives say he went back and attacked the wheelchair-dependent woman again. So we ask it again. Did sanctuary laws prevent the courts from getting pertinent information that they needed to make a thorough decision? Our colleague Brandy Cruz, along with myself, have been seeking those answers for nearly a week now. Take a listen to a portion of Brandy's commentary from this weekend about the lack of response from the courts and elected leaders, including King County Executive Dow Constantine.
So on to the King County Executive, Dow Constantine. Someone who has been a fierce advocate for sanctuary policies. Surely he'd be willing to defend those policies. Not so much. Not so much. His director of communications communicated to me, "We don't comment on specific criminal cases because they involve decisions by separately elected officials." Well, isn't that convenient? I told you this was going to be long. And truth be told, there are so many more emails I could have shared. Whether you agree with sanctuary laws or not, there is a problem here. It is a problem when the people we elect and those whose salaries we pay are unwilling or unable to defend or explain the decisions they make and how they impact the people they serve.
Well, this morning, we went to a press conference where Dow Constantine was present, and we asked that same communications director for an interview with Constantine regarding Ramirez's case. He declined my request. He did follow up this afternoon with an email to reiterate that the executive cannot speak for actions of other elected officials. He did, however, finally clarify that there is no county ordinance that restricts judges from asking any questions. Also, we just heard back from the governor's office, another elected leader we have been in contact with about this since last week. Listen to their answer. It says, "We reviewed the case and the new law does not impact the ability of this judge or any local judge to communicate with ICE or ask about immigration status. Many individuals who are prosecuted for violent crimes are sent to facilities run by the Washington State Department of Corrections. DOC has authority to share immigration status." So if it wasn't sanctuary laws that barred her from asking, then what law was Judge Nicole Phelps talking about? We reached out to her spokesperson again, and this is what she said about an hour and a half ago. "Since illegally entering the United States is a crime, defendants have the right to remain silent when asked if they entered the U.S. illegally." In that statement, she is pointing to the Fifth Amendment. So the defendant we all know this, can plead the Fifth. However, it still does not explain what law the judge is talking about and what prevented her from asking Ramirez about immigration status. So as far as the law is concerned, that clarification we still need an answer on, but at least we got an answer finally from the governor's office and a little bit from King County Executive's office about some clarifications about the law. And it is important that these are valid questions that the public has, and we need those answered.
Yeah, we got some answers a week later. I think bottom line, though, there needs to be some type of clarification because it sounds like there's a miscommunication in terms of the interpretation of the law and everything else. So hopefully this gets cleared up somewhere down the road.
Very good question.
Yeah. All right, Hannah, thanks. Well, some residents in Skagit County are